In a crowded auditorium filled with hopeful graduates and proud parents, a man stepped up to the podium not to deliver the typical commencement fluff, but to share something real, something raw, something that could change lives. He looked out over the sea of young faces and said, "I found that nothing in life is worthwhile unless you take risks." The room fell silent. His words weren't the comfortable, familiar messages we often hear at graduations. He didn't tell them that life would be a smooth ride or that success was guaranteed. Instead, he urged them to embrace the unknown, to embrace discomfort, to live fully and boldly. He talked about Nelson Mandela, a man who spent decades in prison for his beliefs yet never gave up on the dream of a free nation. "There is no passion to be found in playing small," Mandela said, and this man echoed those words. He told the graduates that passion doesn't thrive in playing it safe or in settling for a life beneath their potential. "Why fall back?" he asked. "When you can fall forward?" The entire room was struck by this idea. Fall forward? It challenged everything they thought they knew. But he wasn't promoting recklessness. He wasn't urging them to fail for the sake of failure. He was asking them to have the courage to fail with purpose, because falling forward means moving ahead even when you fall. It's about learning from the experience. It's about being intentional with your journey. He continued by emphasizing the importance of consistency. He told the graduates that no matter how passionate they were, without consistency, they would never accomplish anything. The road to success isn't paved with excitement and enthusiasm alone. It's built through steady, persistent effort. He reminded them that without consistency, they would start many things but never finish. Passion alone wouldn't carry them. Action would, risk would, failure would. He shared his own stories of failed auditions, missed opportunities, and countless rejections. But he told them how through it all he kept going. He kept showing up because every no was one step closer to the yes. He wasn't just talking theory. He had lived it. He recounted how Thomas Edison had failed over 1,000 times before he finally created the light bulb. But we don't remember Edison for his failures. We remember him for his breakthrough. Fall forward, he repeated, and you could feel the power of those words sink in, because every failure, no matter how painful, is a step closer to success. You can't succeed without first learning from what doesn't work. And then he painted a haunting image that gripped everyone in the room. Imagine you're on your deathbed surrounded by ghosts. The ghosts he spoke of weren't the scary, eerie kind. These were the ghosts of all the things they had left undone, the dreams they had never chased, the talents they had never developed, the ideas they had never acted upon. These ghosts were angry and disappointed, not because of failures or missed opportunities, but because they had been abandoned by the very person who could have brought them to life. "You didn't fail," he said, "but you never tried." The weight of that moment lingered in the room, heavy and real. Silence followed, as everyone considered the gravity of what he had just said. In that moment, the speech wasn't just about graduation. It was about life. It was about not letting fear of failure prevent them from living fully. He spoke of the world's needs, not just the needs of distant lands, but of the broken places right in our own backyards. The world needs them, their time, their heart, their passion. He said, "The world is waiting for what only you can give." That wasn't just a call to action, it was a charge. The world isn't waiting for someone else. It's waiting for them, for each of them. He went on to share a personal story. He admitted that his own journey was far from a straight line. He started out in pre-med, but he struggled with the classes, especially one called cardiac morphogenesis, a term so complex he couldn't even pronounce it, let alone pass it. He switched to pre-law, then tried journalism, and ultimately ended up with a GPA that was so low, the university suggested he take time off. At his lowest point, he was working in his mother's beauty shop when an elderly woman, someone he didn't even know personally, looked at him with steady eyes. She said, "Young boy, I have a prophecy. You are going to travel the world and speak to millions of people." He didn't believe her at the time. How could he? But that woman's words stayed with him, and in the years that followed, he did travel the world. He spoke to millions, and the journey wasn't linear. It was messy. It was filled with rejection, doubt, and failure. But he kept moving forward, one step at a time, and she was right. In the end, he found his calling. He ended with a final charge. Never be discouraged. Never hold back. Give everything you've got. And when you fall, because you will fall forward, It was a call to live a life of boldness, of courage, and of action, not to settle for mediocrity or to play it safe, to risk failure, to embrace uncertainty, to fall forward. That speech wasn't just for the graduates in that auditorium. It wasn't just a message for them to hear in that moment. It was for you, for anyone who has ever hesitated to chase a dream or to take a risk. It was a call to live boldly, to risk failure, to refuse to settle for a life less than the one you're capable of living. The true question is this: when your time comes, how will you look back? Will you see a life of unfulfilled potential, where the ghosts of your dreams and ideas surround your deathbed, angry because you never gave them life? Or will you be able to rest knowing you tried, you failed, you succeeded, and you lived? So here's my challenge to you today. Watch this every day. Fall forward, change your life. Thank you, and subscribe for more.